Hello and welcome to Got Clutter, Get Organized, the conversation. Of course, as you can see, this is going to be a solo episode, so I'm excited to be here with you. And as we start a new quarter and also get a little closer to the end of the year, I just wanted to share with you a strategy that I use every September because for those of you who do not know, in September is when I celebrate my birthday, and I take that as a new year. And it's a time for me just to get myself reorganized. It's also a time for me to kind of reset and also sometimes just redirect my energy. And I just wanted to share the areas of my life that I have just really actually done a review, another R, a review, so that I can make sure that not only am I healthy, not only am I happy, but also I am truly able to just really continue to focus on what I love to do, which is organizing. But of course, part of that is making sure my life is organized. So the first area that I really truly wanted to focus on was my body. Because last year, when I celebrated the big 60, I was sick. Not only my birthday, but actually weeks leading up to Thanksgiving. So that was like over a 6 to 8 week period. I was sick. I was coughing. I had to wind up really going to the doctor and getting some type of medication. And that made me realize, Janet, you're not getting any younger and you need to kind of refocus your energies. So, of course, the fact that my doctor that I had been seeing for at least 15 years had actually told me she was going to be retiring, that I had to get acquainted with a new doctor. And by doing that, I was able to get all of my tests done that I needed to get done. Also, start a good conversation with her. So that was part of it because also I learned how to slow down because I realized that last year I just kept pushing myself and pushing myself. And I know a lot of you watching as well as listening know what that is because you're pushing yourself. And I kept pushing myself to get stuff done because I wanted to spend time, a few days off and away, with the people I love, having fun. Well, I pushed myself to the point where I was just not as healthy as I should have been. So, you know, I made sure that now, because of all the blood tests and this, that, and the other, that now I know what direction I need to take. And some kind of changes, not only I need to make in my own diet, but also how I need to really be more active. So that was the first area. The second thing was my money. I decided to look at my money because, I've had debt. I have debt I need to pay off. But there were also some things that I really wanted to do. But then I realized, and I had that conversation with myself, and sometimes you have to stand in front of a mirror. Just have a conversation with yourself is, you know what? Yes, Janet, we're still going after that goal. But before we go after that goal, let's clear up this because then you'll have more money to invest. You'll have more money to really do the things that you want to do for that goal that you want to go after. So my body, my money. Number three was my mind. And, I realized that throughout my life, with my parents passing, someone I had been dating for years all of a sudden passing, all the other stuff in between all of that, was all of that going to have an impact on my health? So therefore, I made a decision. I now have a therapist, which I love. And that's helping me just to make sure, because the questions you ask, like, well, why do you want to have therapy? I want to have therapy because I want to make sure that whatever trauma that I've had to deal with, if it's had an impact on me and my health. Because I know sometimes if we don't resolve or deal with some of those mental issues, they can impact us health wise. So I wanted to make sure that I go into this next season of my life as healthy as possible. So, and then the fourth place I dealt with was my space. Yes, my space. Just like a lot of you. I wanted to make some changes, do some organizing. But of course, the first thing I do is I got rid of things. So I got rid of a lot of things that I no longer needed. And then I also began to, what I always tell my clients, schedule, because there were some furniture pieces that I wanted to restore. So I started doing that. And then I just really started just doing one room at a time. Because, like a lot of you, I got caught up in the whole looking at everything, and I want to do this and I want to do a little bit of that. But just doing a little bit at a time and actually crossing things off of my list, which felt fantastic. And then, of course, my time. And it was really kind of doing a reset of my time, but also making sure I redirected my energy. Because one, I needed to make sure that I exercise at least 30 minutes a day, making sure that I got my rest, but also making sure that I had some fun. So really it was looking at my calendar, my schedule, and beginning to just block things out. Beginning to make sure I blocked out time daily for some exercise, whether I take a walk or whether I do, strength training and, core building, those fancy words. But then also making sure that I am proactive when it comes to spending time with family and with friends. Whether with family, making sure that I make those phone calls because of distance, doing those Zoom, calls. But for people who are local, making sure I schedule time, making sure I block out time. And not only that, making sure I block out time when I may not be doing anything. Because I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I enjoy those days when I don't really have to get out of bed. Of course I do. But those mornings when okay, I got a 7 o'clock meeting, I got a 9 o'clock meeting across town, which means, but those days where there's nothing on my schedule. And I like those days because that allows me to just lay in the bed, enjoy my space. And getting back to the space, I know I'm talking about time, but I just want to mention something about the space. One of the things I love about my bedroom space is when I wake up, there is nothing on my dresser, nothing on my side tables except my journal and my reading material. No clutter. And I want whatever space it is for you that you want to organize, I want you to begin to visualize the feeling, because it's a wonderful feeling, because the sun is usually coming in through the curtains, and just that beam of sunlight, and just me being able just to relax and surrounded by the fabrics and the colors. Sometimes we have to get those images in our minds in order to create that space. Now, so I talked about time. And of course, I talked about time, but in the time, I talked about friends. Because sometimes we feel like, oh my goodness, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. I need to. And that's what you do. You need to make time. Because one of the things I found as I got older is I have so many different things that I'm interested in. And I'm very blessed to be able to have friends. I have a friend who loves going to the art museums and the different museums in our city. So that's that friend. Then I have another friend who's I call her my adventurous friend, because we do walks, we do bikings, we do hiking. So I like doing that as well. And then sometimes I just like getting in the car and just going and exploring a new city, a new event. I've got friends to do that. And then of course sometimes I've got the friends, we just like some music. So it's important because that can help you incorporate the people and the things in your life that you enjoy doing. So think about that. And then, of course, my plan. I sat down this year because I was too busy, thinking about 60, but also, just trying to just navigate 60 those first few weeks. As I sat down, I have a 1 year, a 5 year, and a 10-year plan. You don't have to get that elaborate. You can just have a 30-day plan. But I did that for myself because there's things that I want to do, and I need to transition my life, like so many of you. So the 1 year plan are just little things that I need to do that will push me into the 5 year plan. The 5 year plan, there are things in that that will help me reach that 10-year plan. And that's really how I envision my life work with what I like to do, but also things I enjoy doing. So I'm going to recap what I went over and what I really kind of just went through to reset, refocus, redirect. But I'm telling you this now because maybe you can take some of these elements and you can either start it when you have that birthday. It doesn't have to be a major one, but also maybe just as a jump start into the new year. Because a lot of times we put so much pressure on ourselves to get stuff done in the new year. Oh my goodness, I got this list. And then by the end of the year, we haven't even crossed anything off of our list. So I focus on my body, I focus on my money, I focus on my mind, my space, my time, my friends, and of course, I created a plan for myself. And the nice thing is, I do each thing. For example, my body is something I can do every day by exercising, eating right. My money is something I do monthly. My mind, I have those sessions every other week. My space, those are little things I can do weekly by just picking things up and putting them back, or either incorporating maybe a monthly project. My time, I always, every week, I look at my time and see what I'm doing, what I need to be doing. But also, one of the guests of the podcast said sometimes we got to look at what we need to take off of our schedule, not put on, but take off. And of course, making sure that at least once a week, I make some kind of contact with some friends, whether it's virtually, whether it's a phone call, whether it's just a walk around the block. And of course, just checking in on myself and making sure that those goals, my plan, my 1 year plan, that I'm doing something maybe every week or every month to move towards that. So I would love to know, you can put the comments below. Let me know what you're working on. Like, did this resonate with you? Are you now thinking about birthdays different, or are you just getting a jump start on the new year? So please let me know. So, of course, make sure you always check the show page links for resources and information to help you on your journey to living an organized life. So, until next time, I want you to have a clutter free day. But for those of you listening to the audio version, continue listening to this episode. Thank you.